Okay, so I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I never really got around to doing it. Um, this is more like a talk about my life video. I've never really made a video about myself ever. Oh, this is kind of new to me, but I don't know who's gonna watch this. It Like if people watch it, great. If not, whatever. This is more just like a But for people who because if you don't know who I am, my name's Nick Sanchez. I like to go by Sanchez. Some people don't call me Sanchez, but whatever. Anyways, so to start off, I was born in Calgary, Alberta. I lived there until I was like halfway through grade 9, and for as long as I can remember, I was bullied, as many other people probably have been. I hated it, of course. I hated living in Calgary. I didn't like how I looked. I was very suicidal. I wouldn't cut myself or anything, but I'd pretty much yell, saying I'd wish I was dead. My mother would be very upset with that. Like, she'd cry a lot because I'd say those things, and it made her sad. So yeah, I just really hated my life. I only had like a few friends. I only hung out with like 2 people every day at school. So, yeah, I hated myself. And I got called annoying a lot and stuff like that. And I knew I had, I didn't fully understand it. Like, I have this disability called nonverbal learning disability. And at that time, I had no idea the logistics. And so, throughout my whole school, Calgary life, I had this disability, not knowing all the logistics. So when I got called annoying, I was kind of like, it hurt me, and all that kind of stuff, and not people not liking me, and whatever. So and eventually, and I always tell my parents, I want to move, but please, let's move. I hate living here, blah 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 blah, and it never happened until like halfway through grade 9. My mom got offered a job in Red Deer, and so we moved around that area. And it was in November. I can't remember the year, so that was like, but I think that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Anyways, I moved to where I live now, and I started to. Well, of course, I moved to a small town, and there was a small school, and there was only a few people in grade 9 class, but it was, and so I felt I was new, so I didn't know what to expect. But it was weird because they accepted me with like open arms, and it was kind of like, whoa. And then they gave me a nickname. They called me Nacho, and that kind of stuff. And they liked me, even though I wasn't like at the time I wasn't the greatest looking kid, Anyways, eventually, I started like I started to like be more active, make more friends. I had more people that actually liked me. Like the whole entire class liked me, and which was weird for me. So and it was just an awesome year of just becoming a better person, like growing up. So then got to high school. I still had was friends with the people I was friends with in grade 9, but they kind of like they'd always ditch me because there's one of their friends could drive and they couldn't, and there's not enough room for me, so they would ditch me, and I had no one. Eventually, I was just like, I'm done with you guys. Goodbye. Eventually, I made new friends. I went through school, had made new friends. School was okay for me. And in grade 12, a lot of my friends kind of like left. They went to different schools, so I was left with a lot of people I was like not really fond of, and I still got kind of bullied, and it was and I got picked on, but whatever. Oh, backtrack a bit. I kind of forgot. Yeah, grade 10 and grade 12. Well, grade 12 was my worst year, but grade 10 was kind of my worst beginning year because I think the beginning of grade 10 I got beat up, and mainly because at the beginning I was called. Well, I started in math class. I was called Asian, even though I'm half Salvadorian, so it's kind of like it threw me off. Like when people call me Mexican, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really care, but like if you got my race right, or race right, or you always like people always just assume like, oh, he's Latin, so automatically he's Mexican, even like no matter what, and that kind of drives me nuts. Or when people say, oh, he speaks Mexican, no, it's Spanish. Like, are you kidding me? And so, anyways, yeah, I got beat up. I had never gotten beat up before. So that was like a physical bullying, I guess, but it was only once. So I got beat up, and then, and I remember him almost falling into me, and he pushed me, putting my hands out, and he thought I was pushing him, and then we were pushing back and forth, and then I think I hit him, but I can't remember because I was like in like that adrenaline mode where just like you don't even know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden I think I got punched two or three times in the face because he's a bit taller than me, so and then I kind of blacked out for a bit because I didn't remember what happened after that until I went to the washroom, and all I could see was like blood all over my face, and I thought my nose was broken, and I kept washing my face, and the blood wouldn't stop, and my teeth were chipped, and my lip took most of the damage, so, because I'm a really swollen lip. Anyways, so I got it, back to whole grade 12. Yeah, when I was just so glad when I graduated, because I was like, I'm done with this school, I'm done with the people that are here, I've had a lot of, crappy experiences, whatever. So then, after high school, I took a year off of school. I worked at my first job. Yes, like I'm 19 now, almost 20, and my first job was when I was 18. But getting my disability, I just couldn't handle having a job and having school and homework and all that jazz, and it was just too much for me to handle. So that's why I didn't have a job until I was 18. Anyways, so yeah, I took a year off of school. Let's see, and it was good. I quite enjoyed just working a little bit and getting money and before I go to college. And then I went to I am going to college for childcare. At the beginning, I wanted to do zookeeping, but I needed math, and I'm really terrible at math, so I couldn't do it, and it just wouldn't work anyways. And I went into Chem 10, and I was so lost. It was like someone put a blindfold on me and put me in a maze and turned out the lights and just said go. And so I was lost. And I was like, okay, I guess I know, but I couldn't think of a plan B. I was like, what am I gonna do for plan B? Then I found childcare, and I thought, my mom is a children's pastor. She's done this for years, and this seems awesome. And I like, working with kids. So now I'm doing childcare. Now I work at a daycare too, so that kind of ties in with my college thing. So it works to like have first-hand experience to help me with my schoolwork. So that's great. I've made new friends there too. Not as many friends as I'd like. Well, the thing is, I don't care if I have a lot of friends as long as I have more close friends than I do. I'd rather have rather have a small group of close friends than a large group of just friends. I feel it makes more sense. Let's see. Also, actually, it doesn't matter how many girlfriends I've had, but not all of them have. Some of them have been good. Like there's some moments sort of like, I've had only 2 really long relationships, but it's not really fully important to talk about them. They're kind of, it's like in the past, it's like whatever. I'm happy being by myself, I guess, for the moment. I've had so many girlfriends from grade 9 till now that I feel like I just need a break. And, like, I need to, reflect on myself and just become a, better individual person before I become a, connected person, I guess. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's mainly what I'm doing right now, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, during this whole, I'm going to school process, during one of these, like, I have this textbook, it has all these disabilities, and so I was like, and there was an assignment of doing, like, choosing a disability to do, like, to research on and do, like, a research paper or whatever, and so I thought, I should do my disability, of course, because, I didn't know much about, I knew some of my stuff about my disability, but not much, and so I, one day I was looking at it, of course doing research for my research paper, and I found out so much more about myself. Like, with my disability comes, I'm really clumsy, which is definitely true. I'm terrible at math, is mainly because of my disability. I'm uncoordinated. I talk a lot and talk fast. I don't know how to organize my thoughts correctly. Like, when I do, like, written work, it's a new technique I found where before I had to get my mom's script for me, where I just talk things out, but now I record my voice into, like, my iPod, and then I listen to it again, and I type out the notes from what I heard myself say, whatever it is, because some stuff is, like, nonsense, so I had to take bits and pieces out to, like, put in the notes, and then I write, like, write an essay or whatever. And it's a longer process, but it works for me because of my disability. Some other characteristics are, I have trouble getting along with people. Like, I can get along with people better than I could before. Like, I've been able to improve upon this disability. Like, it's a disability where you can grow on it, where you don't have to. It doesn't completely just define you. Like, it's in, like, the schooling kind of stuff. It helped. It definitely puts a lock on my brain. Like, I'm not stupid. I call myself stupid often, but I don't fully feel like I'm actually stupid, because, like, I know there's a lot of stuff I know that I can, anyways, I know a lot of stuff, but with this disability, it kind of, like, puts a lockdown on my capability to grasp more of my brain power, so that I can fully become to use my full capacity of my brain power. So I'm not as smart as I could be because of this disability. And so with this disability, there's a lot of things that explains why I am the way I am, or what the things I do, and why I get frustrated so easily, and all that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of people probably never heard of this disability. Like, what the heck? Never heard of this disability? It must be made up. It's like, no, for one, it's not made up. Two, if, like the secondary reason why I made this video, I should probably explain this later on in the video. Like, maybe I close to the end, but I'll explain more later. But I feel like I explained some now too. So one of the reasons why I made this video is because I felt like I should, because there's probably some people who have this disability out there who might even be watching this video, and they might be like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not the only one," because they might feel they're only one with disability because they've never met anybody else with it. Because I've never met anybody else with my disability at all, ever. Or if they have it, they've never said, "Oh, hey Nick, I have I have a disability." And I go, "Oh wait, me too." Blah 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 blah. That's great. Well, it's not great, but it's great that I'm not alone, kind of thing. So, that's mainly why one of the main reasons I'm making this video, so that I can say, like, if you have this ability, you're not alone. It's a very, like, small population of people who have this disability. So that's why it's not that well known. That's why it's not like everyone talks about it on TV or in movies or blah, 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 or all that kind of stuff, all the media. So yeah, that's the reason. One of the reasons why I decided to. Another reason why is because I'm kind of tired of also another thing I should probably say is I am a believer. I haven't, I'm not tired of calling myself a Christian because I know this is kind of like a side thing, but not. I'm tired of calling myself a Christian because that just, the whole Christian, so you're a religion, and I'm tired of people thinking Christianity is a religion. I'm tired of being classified into a religion because religion is this. It's just a box. It's just and I don't want to be boxed in. I don't want to be where it's like, oh, if you don't do this, if you do this, you go to hell. And if you don't do that, then you're good. You're going to heaven. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff. And it just drives me nuts. It's like what I have faith in is that just come as you are. God will love you no matter what. So, like, if you're, whatever you've done, like, He loves you. Like, you just come as you are. And, like, as soon as you say, hey, God, come into my heart, I want to become, like, part of your family, then, boom, you're part of his family. Like, and then there's, like, no going up to heaven, like, hey, so, you have to, if you want to come to heaven, you have to do all these great things. Like, yeah, you should still do great things. Make the world a better place, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not saying just because you've become a believer stops you from, like, oh, I'm a believer now, I don't have to do good things, so I'm safe. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Also, a thing that ties into that is that a lot of people think, oh, there's these pearly white gates. There's these gates as soon as you go to heaven that there are. It's like, why? Where is that that conception from? It's like as soon as there's no secondary door when you get to heaven. As soon as you get to heaven, you're in heaven. There's no secondary door with an angel at the gate with a clipboard saying, let me see if you're on the list. Oh yeah, you're on the list. Okay. Oh, you're not on the list. Trap door, and you fall down to hell, like, or back to earth, or whatever. It's like, where, I don't get that at all. Like, I don't know where that conception has been. Like, even my dad, we talked about this. Like, he was even talking about some people on it, and I was like, yeah, you're right, that makes sense. Where that conception came from. So, yeah, I'm a believer, so, a lot of people like to, like, some people have tried to, like, argue my faith with me, or like, oh, why do you believe it? I was like, well, why hasn't God helped us? It's like, one quote I heard from a movie called Immortals was, Zeus, all the other the mythological Greek gods were like, well, let's help them. Why can't we help the humans? And then, so Zeus said, well, we can't, if we don't have faith in them, then how can they have faith in us? That's the thing that I've kind of, like, put into retrospective for it. Also, another thing, there's a lot. I know there's a lot going on in this video, and it's kind of long. But if you don't watch it all, it's fine. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not really concerned about if people watch this or not, or how many. Anyways, yeah. Another thing, it's like I've come to terms with, and I've been thinking about it, and like, why is tithing? Why is it tithing, connected to money? It's like, yeah, I get it. That's always how it's been. When you're tithing, you're giving money. It's like, but why? I gotta understand that. Like, tithing is it's giving. Like, why can't tithing be connected to your time? Like, volunteering your time to help others. Like, you don't have to always give money to somebody to be helping them. Like at a homeless shelter, like, if you're giving out food, that's still, it's tithing your time. You're helping. You're like, I don't get it. Like, even if you're a non-believer, you're still tithing when you help somebody. If you may not believe it, but that's what you're doing. When you're helping, you're, you know, it's still good to help somebody, no matter what, faith or thing you're part of or whatever. Anyways, back on track to what my beginning stuff. So again, with I'm tired of hiding behind a mask, because I for the longest time, like, I try to be I try to be as positive as possible, because like I feel like if you're positive, then people around you are like, whoa, he's so positive. Maybe we should be positive too. Like, he seems, well, the world's so great. But like, I'm still positive. I still believe in good things. Like, I still think my life is pretty great. It's good. Like, but I'm conflicted between feelings, because, like, I know that my life is going somewhere. I know I'm having, I enjoy my job. I love my family. I care about my friends deeply. I consider them part of my family too. Even though they're not part of blood, or like, step or whatever, adopted, whatever. But in a way, I feel like they're my adopted family. But I'm just kind of frustrated with my life, somewhat, because, like, mainly because of disability, but mainly because it's like, I like being alone. Like, I like being at home, playing video games all day, reading comics, listening to music, watching Netflix, watching YouTube, all that kind of stuff. But at times I'm kind of lonely, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm just having conflicted feelings of, like, I don't care if I don't care what people think of me. I'm weird. I'm out there. I'm strange. I make weird noises. I can make animal noises. I can do weird voices. I make corny jokes. Well, I try to. I do make corny jokes, but I try to come up with jokes, but they're not always the greatest. Like, I do all that kind of stuff. But, like, it's like, I try to be the best I can be. And I feel like I kind of feel like I'm just short of. Like with my faith, I just feel like I'm not as connected to God as I should be. I try to be, but, like, it's not as easy as, well, like, my dad, I call him super Christian all the time, because he's very philosophical. He knows a lot of stuff about the Bible, and he can, like, when he talks to me, or I'll talk to him, it blows my mind, like, how much he knows, and I feel like I wish I knew as much as he did. I wish I was just, like, had good enough, as close a relationship as God as he does. And with my social life, I feel like, like, sometimes people will come to me with things, and I don't always know what to say. I try to say the best things that I can, but I'm almost kind of like, again, with the whole disorganized brain thing, But I don't know. I'm kind of, like, at a loss for words for certain things. Anyways, to put in retrospective, I'm still learning about myself, I guess, as a lot of people are. Some more things I should explain about myself, because this video is technically about my life. I call myself a geek. I know nowadays it's been like, oh, whatever, you're just going with the crowd. Like, no, I've been a geek. I never knew the correct word to call myself for as long as, but I've been a geek for as long, before like, oh my goodness, everyone's geek now. It's like, it's the most coolest thing ever. I'm more into, I was into superheroes for a long time, but I never, like, read comics or any of that stuff, and I got into comics, and I was like, whoa, well, I don't know why I wasn't much into comics before, because I still kind of, but I never was, like, full into it like I am now. Like, I have, like, 900 or more comics. Yeah, and then seriously, like pretty much all my shirts are like comic book stuff, like DC, Marvel, all that kind of stuff, and video games. Like I'm majorly into video games, all that kind of stuff. Um, I pretty much like all music except for country. You just forget it. I'm not gonna choose to listen to it. Like if I hear it, I'm like, I don't like it, but I'm not gonna like barf from hearing it, or like my ears are gonna explode off or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's again, and because I've never made a video like this, so this is kind of new to me. So I don't, for the most part, I don't fully know what to say. But I've been watching a lot of like YouTube videos, like Shane Dawson and like Jack's Films and Tobuscus and Screen Team and let's see who else, Ray William Johnson, and they're very well off in their stuff. And I go, wow, how they're so talented. They have so much going for them. Like I know they didn't start off like that, but I think, man, I wish I had all this talent. Like I wish I was better at sports than I am, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Yeah. So again, I feel like I should probably end this video because I'm kind of rambling. So to end this off, to any people who are watching this and they're hiding their feelings, or they feel kind of like I did before, like it felt like nothing, and like like garbage, and like, where's their life going, and they're trying to achieve something. It's like all I have to say is, you are loved. Like you may have a terrible home life, but you still have so much more ahead of you. You don't know the future. Like, why are you afraid that, I'm gonna fail in life? You don't know the future. Why fear with something that you don't know that's gonna happen? Are you a fortune teller? Like, that's not even possible. Like, anyways, just life gets better. Now, that might sound redundant, but it's just what it is. Just hope is the tree of life kind of thing. There's a Bible verse, I can't remember how it goes. It's like, hope deferred brings a tree of life, or something like that. So this was my video, and whoever watches it, great. Whoever doesn't, that's fine. All right.